Hello everyone, welcome back to F1 2019 Career Mode Season 5 with the Ferrari team here at the Canadian Grand Prix for round 7. Practice wise it's looked quite good, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, currently 8th in the standings now. Yeah, I really need to find a strong performance. I think this is the first race where I think we most likely won't be the champion, but it's still kind of early on, but let's see what happens.
Welcome again then, and we hope you're ready for another fantastic session as the teams prepare to unleash their cars for qualifying at the Canadian Grand Prix. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on in the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
Okay, so it is time for Q1 here at the Canadian Grand Prix Montreal. Let's get straight onto the track. So yeah, for our first flying lap of Q1. Yeah, this is the race as we head into this weekend. I do feel like this is the first race where I feel like, yeah, we're probably not going to win the Drivers' Championship. I don't feel like we'll do it. Vettel, you know, if we do improve as a team, I mean, Vettel's, only 40 points back, so it's more than possible for Vettel at the moment. I mean, I could always help him out if needs be, but I'm just going to focus on myself for the time being and not worry about Sebastian. ICE at 64%, that is a little bit wide, but the lap is not invalid at least. So Weber sets the first competitive lap time, 1:08 flat. Over there, Leclerc just about picks Weber there. We'll set the fastest final sector, but we're half a second behind the two Haas cars, so Vettel's on the medium. Alright then. The two McLarens expected to go ahead. Perez not that far ahead of me. Okay, let's go again for another lap. Wow, less than a tenth separate the top three. Oh, right. Coughing in the cockpit there of the Ferrari as we go for our second running Q1, not even Q2 yet. My goodness me, it's lap number 2 in Q1. Here we go. Wow, purple first sector there. I think we dipped to the front right in the grass there. Oh, that was a lot tidier. A lot tidier. PB for the middle sector. Activate the DRS down straight over 210 miles an hour. Leave the braking late but not too late, and now it's a dash to the line. And we go quickest.
That's the fastest lap so
Nice
far.
stuff.
Well done.
The 107.8, that is safely through. Faber comes up the pits as well there. Yeah, we shouldn't need to go again. Okay, so we were quickest in Q1. I think we've ever been quickest in a qualifying session ever. Both Renaults, Butler out, Hulkenberg out, both Williams at the back, Russell, but Gasly and the Mercedes also out of qualifying. That is a shame for them. Well, a 10th out of Weber there. The McLaren's not actually too far up the front at the moment. Vettel 10th, but on the mediums. He's safely through as well. Here we go for Q2 then. I think that's the first time I've ever topped a qualifying session. I know it's Q1, but still, you get what I mean. I don't think I've ever been first at the end of any Q1, Q2s, or even, yeah, not Q3s at the moment, but promising signs. Okay, let's make sure we get out early again, so we get some nice clean air, so we're not having cars in the way. So the rear of the Ferrari looking very nice. Would be good for all the other cars to just have a look at. We're at the front, that'd be great. I mean, practice went well, and I feel like the top 3 is possible on the grid. I really do. I feel like top 3 is doable. Ricardo coming out the pit lane. Oh, okay, he does let me by. That could have been annoying for us. Wasn't as tidy. Vettel, the 107.7, 10th quicker than what we managed in Q1. As we power to the line. We go second, we're half a second off Vettel. The Ferrari 1-2 at the moment.
So far, our fastest lap is a
Hamilton, only a 10th quicker. Vettel's got a bit of distance there between himself and Lewis Hamilton. Perez only 6th fastest. Weber on the cusp in 10th. Everyone's on softs though, that's surprising. Stroll up to P5, Verstappen 14th. Wow. Yeah, we'll definitely go again. I think we'll go again whilst it's quiet on the track. Luckily the racing point of Ricciardo did not get in the way. Oh, it's a bit cloudy out there. see the weather report.
Radar is clear. Weather is looking good for now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no rain then. Oh, okay. It does seem a bit brighter at the start-finish line part of the track. Vettel does a 19.1 in the first sector. Where are we compared to him? Wow, purple again. Nearly all four wheels off the track there, but we should be okay. PB in the middle sector. We've got one of the Alfa Romeos on the track.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
As we power to the line of DRS across the line. Now we go second, a quarter of a second off Vettel there. Ferrari 1 and 2 again. Wow, wow, wow. This is quite promising. Ferrari, with myself and Vettel, seem pretty strong here. Yeah, we should be safely through. Well, it could be between the two Ferraris for pole position as it stands. Hamilton just goes second place there. Verstappen just about gets through into Q3. And same with Perez, really. Perez wasn't safe. Norris out in the Mercedes. Both racing points and both Toro Rossos out in Q2. Well, time for the top 10 shootout for pole position. Vettel advantage after Q2. Both Ferraris topping Q1, Q2. Can one of the Ferraris get pole? And we haven't had a pole position yet for Ferrari. We're definitely in contention again for our first pole position with the prancing horses. Let's see what we can do for our first lap in Q3. Here we go. Just a little overcast, but no rain expected.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions looking good. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Into turn 1. A 19.0 in first sector. Really pushing the limits of this Ferrari. Sliding about, getting close to the barrier there. Leclerc sets a 108.2. We could definitely go quicker than that, surely. Nearly 3 tenths up on the monogas. But provisional pole at the moment for Charles Leclerc in the Haas, the man who won the Monaco Grand Prix last time out. Raikkonen goes quicker on provisional pole. As it over the last couple of corners, and a dash to the line. It's provisional pole. Well, 107.6. Hamilton goes on the front row, but doesn't beat our lap time there. Very risky to invalidate the lap there from going over the curb in the last couple of corners there. That's all matches my first set. Hamilton misses out by 0.02 of a second Wow. Is Vettel on a lap? Weber's into the pits. He's only 7th at the moment. Wow. Provisional pole by 2 thousandths of a second to Perez on the second row in third, couple tenths further back. Wow. Perez just had a really horrible final sector there. Well, Vettel must be on a used set because I don't see how he's that far down. Right then, let's go again for our final lap. Yeah, we've got a really good straight line speed now because we have the upgrades. Oh yeah, the sun's out in Montreal. So our last lap, possibly in Q3. Ferrari have not had a pole position yet. I haven't had a pole position yet this season. Here we go then. What may be our last or penultimate lap of qualifying here in Canada. Nearly a 1/10 up in the first sector. That was awful, wheels off, but no, the lap continues. We're just pushing the absolute maximum beyond of this Ferrari. 1/4 of a second up. But surely the McLarens as well will find improvements on their lap. To get this right, and we're just about to. Can we improve across the line? And it's a 107.4. Put a distance between ourselves and Hamilton there. That could be our first pole. Could be Santiago. Could be. It could be. It could be. But Vettel's yet to set his own competitive lap time. I think we will get time for one more lap. We've got to make this count. We're just under 2/10 ahead of Hamilton at the moment. 15 seconds, 14. We might just make it in time to the checkered flag. Actually, I don't think we will. We're not going to make it to the end. No. No.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done.
Oh my god, it's Santiago. Really? Really? Yes!
Qualifying complete. Let's review our top three today. McDonald, Hamilton, and
It's our
Sergio
first pole
Perez.
position
Well, that wraps
for
up
Ferrari.
qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
A mega job. Oh, I'm so relieved. Vettel down in 10th place. What happened? What happened? Wow. Yeah, wow. Vettel only 10th on the grid. But we got pole position. Ahead of the two McLaren. It's a good thing we improved that last lap, otherwise Hamilton would have got pole there. God, first pole position for Ferrari. I'm so over the moon with that. Stroll for the first time. That qualifies Verstappen. Red Bull 8th and 9th there. Wow. Leclerc just missing out on the top three there. First pole for Ferrari. Wow. Hopefully this is a good sign, good things to come for the future of this season. In our 7th race for the team, we've gone and done it and put it on pole here in Canada. Yes! We've got a whole race ahead of us to finish the job.
Well done. Very solid result. You're looking good for the race.
Yeah, and my boss is happy as well. My manager. Right, here we go then for the Canadian Grand Prix. Let's go.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average lap speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. McDonald lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Kevin Magnussen, and Raikkonen, Weber, Stroll, Verstappen, and Sebastian Vettel, Bottas, Grosjean, Carlos Sainz, and Ricciardo. Norris, Butler, Pierre Gasly, and Nico Hülkenberg. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Good result last race. Let's try to go one better this weekend.
That's good, Jeff. So here we go then for the Canadian Grand Prix, starting from our first pole position with Ferrari. Our 41st career pole on this F1 2019 career mode for car number 41. So quite a good number, quite a special pole position, if not my best pole position so far in my career. Looking to be a two-stop strategy today. Put a little bit more fuel in before the start of the race, and we're on 39 career wins on this game, so we could get our 40th win, our 41st pole position, as we lead the way on the formation lap.
Okay, our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing
But I do feel like the two McLarens right behind are going to be quicker. In terms of race pace, they have a really strong race pace to the two McLarens compared to the Ferrari. But Haas also seem to be improving as well. We're in a fight with them for second in the Constructors at the moment, at this point in the season. And yeah, Vettel only P10 on the grid. He's got some work to do today to make up places during this Grand Prix. But we'll just have to focus on our own race. We're not really, as it stands in the championship fight at all. We're just going to have to try and bring it home and just concentrate on our own race. The two McLarens have got more to lose at the start. Only 4 points separate Perez and Hamilton. So, will it be our first win for Ferrari today? I think the goal is at least third place, at least a podium. We can definitely manage that. But it's going to be a tough job to keep the McLarens at bay at the start.
Keep an eye on the line
We need to get a good launch, that's for sure.
Be ready with the clutch.
Because Haas seem to have improved as well. They're in the fight as well. But we've got 35 laps ahead of us in Canada, in Montreal, to see if we'll win our first race for Ferrari. Here come on the lights then. 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. They weren't held for long, but Hamilton gets a good start off the line and would just chop across Perez to cover him off, and Hamilton takes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. And Magnussen side by side with Perez. They weren't held for long, but Hamilton got a mega start. And one of the McLarens already in front. Now Perez is having a look already. We'll force Perez out there. I don't think the initial launch was bad though. I know Hamilton reacted a bit quicker, but we managed to at least fend off one of the McLarens at the start. There's Vettel.
Gap to teammate behind is 2.3 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in 10.
Now Vettel hasn't made any places up at the start. Hamilton stretching his lead at the end of lap 1. Hamilton leads the Canadian Grand Prix by nearly 2 seconds already. I've got Perez right behind me. Already seeing a gap form to, I think that's Magnussen in 4th place there. Here comes Perez. He's going to go down the inside. Locks up. I go wide. You'd have to give the place back to Perez anyway. Magnussen having a look as well. Nothing doing of that though. Get back in the slipstream of Sergio Perez here. Ferrari's got good straight line speed, probably the best on the grid at the moment.
Entering lap 3 now.
And Leclerc sets the fastest lap. McLaren 1-2, Ferrari in 3rd at the moment. Yeah, it's going to be a tough job to keep the McLarens behind. They are very quick. We'll just about get DRS on Perez. Ferrari straight line speed is very good. Here comes Magnussen. Give him the space, but he doesn't go through.
We're leading our teammate by 3.6 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in 10. The
Still
time
top.
last lap
Leclerc's
was
looking for a move on Magnussen here for 4th place. The side by side has helped us pull away a bit.
Be advised moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
I will do so.
Gap ahead is 1.6 seconds. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Perez pulling away slightly, but Hamilton in a league of his own at the moment. All 20 runners still in the Grand Prix as we're approaching lap number 5 out of 35 of this race. Perez 2 seconds up the road. And Leclerc a further 2 seconds behind me. get into lean, try and save some fuel for later on, then we can push a lot harder later on in the race.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Ah, already. Maybe looking at undercut, Perez. But we've definitely come out in traffic, so we're definitely not pitting right this second. Tyres still feel good. Leclerc's starting to close that gap. We'll keep it in standard fuel mode for the time being. Gap 2.8 to Perez. Better made any places yet?
Is 7.3 seconds. They're on old softs. They're in 10.
No, Vettel's not made any places up still. That's surprising, to be honest. Leclerc almost in the DRS now. Got to watch out for the Haas. There's a big gap to the Alfa Romeo in 5th there.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap. We're leading our teammate by 6.8
I think it's
seconds.
early to pit. What's Perez doing in front?
Perez is ahead of you. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1:11.
Yeah, so Perez on a 2-stop as well. Okay. About Leclerc behind.
Leclerc behind. Our gap behind is 1.5 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops
Yeah,
remaining.
2 stop
The
as
time
well.
last
Okay.
lap was a 1:11.5.
Copy. But if we pit now, we're going to be in traffic as we go very deep there. That's going to give Leclerc
Box this lap.
a real chance here. Down the back straight we go now. Leclerc. No, we're not boxing this lap. Too early to pit. Yeah, sort of falling out of the undercut window now to Perez in 2nd place there. Hamilton, I think, is probably about 3 seconds further up the road. Got Charles right behind me here, so tyres, yeah, going off a little bit now. Here comes Leclerc. He'll go for it, but he's not going to get round there. And has to back out of that one. We live to fight another day in P3. Leclerc once again will get DRS. Yeah, these tyres are starting to go off. I'm going to go for it. We're going to go for the aggressive 2-stop. Both McLaren stay out. We're pitting this up. Box for medium. And Leclerc continues on. 2.2 second pit stop, that's a good stop. We will, unfortunately, though, come out in a lot of traffic here. The ICE approaching 70% as well now. Yeah, we're not going to come out in clear air whatsoever. This might have not been a good move. We do get out in front of Cadet, so he's way behind. Right, we've got work to do now. Got to make these moves quickly but carefully. Try to draw alongside Hulkenberg here. Go around the outside of the Renault. Nearly pushes me into the wall there. Probably unaware that I'm there. But now we should get him on the straight. Ferrari quicker than the Renault on the straight line. Got more drivers in the pit lane now. Oh, one of the McLarens has pitted as well. Not sure which one that is, as we're right behind Butler now.
The gap to the car behind is 5.6 seconds.
Come on, Butler, hurry up. So we go for the move on Butler, but we go off the track there. Because Butler was going to obviously be a tricky person to overtake. In the pits. I think that's Leclerc staying out still, or is it Weber?
Gasly is stopping now.
No, it's Leclerc. So Leclerc extending this first stint. Yeah, McLaren are so far up the road. Purple first sector, nice. I'll go around the outside of Ricardo. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Now we'll get the DRS on Norris. We should breeze by the Mercedes. And we do, look at that. Leclerc's pitting. I'm going to set the fastest lap of the race. We haven't done that too often this season. We'll gladly take that. We've got to stay out, so Leclerc's got to make a move here, so we're in a comfortable third with the fastest lap at the moment, but the McLarens are still quite far up the road.
Our gap to the car in front is 6.6 seconds.
Unless we get a safety car, I don't really see myself catching the McLarens. 7 seconds to make up. I don't really see that happening. Not at this stage in the Grand Prix.
Gap to teammate behind is 11.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. They're in 8th. The time last
Vettel
lap
up
was
to 8th place.
10.9.
As Ricardo dives into the pit lane, Leclerc overtook him before anyway. Yeah, the gap just under 7 seconds to Perez. .1, we're catching Perez. Okay. He's probably managing his tyres though. Oh! Perez has some sort of mechanical problem. That is huge. No wonder we're gaining on him rapidly. Perez has some sort of mechanical problem, and this will give us a chance to get one of the McLarens. Just like in China with Hamilton, who had a mechanical problem then, but still managed to finish 5th. This time in Canada, the other McLaren of Perez, he's got some sort of mechanical problem. Now this gives us a real opportunity to catch the Mexican. But it depends if the problem gets fixed or not. Because at the moment it's not. Rapidly catching and Leclerc further 2 seconds behind. But Hamilton is miles up the road at the moment. And we can see now the McLaren up the road, 3.7 seconds is the gap, but Leclerc's also gaining on us by a couple tenths a lap. .7 seconds is the gap now. We're homing in on the McLaren Perez here, and soon we'll look for an overtake. As long as this problem still continues, because Hamilton is miles ahead, dominating this Canadian Grand Prix at the moment. Trying to also save some fuel at the same time here. Leclerc, I think, just within DRS now. Yeah, he's got the DRS as Charles Leclerc. Surprised we didn't get our first warning there. As we approach lap 16, almost within DRS of Perez, but Leclerc's in my DRS now. Ooh. I'm going to keep the current. I'm going to hit on lap 21. 14 laps on a fresh set of mediums, definitely can get to the end of the race on them. 100%. But I don't see ourselves getting Hamilton anytime soon. He's miles ahead. So myself and Leclerc have DRS now on the struggling Perez with some sort of problem. We'll have to try and play this out because Leclerc's right up the gearbox now. The Haas driver had a look to the inside and now will switch to the outside. He can't get round that. No chance. I think Leclerc had a slightly better exit. He has. And now we're going to look to get Sergio Perez round the outside of the Mexican up into P2.
Good job, nice overtake.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. And now Leclerc's immediately on the charge as well. Out at 11 seconds ahead. And Charles Leclerc is up into 3rd place. Perez within a space of a lap out of the podium places. Yeah, gap 11 seconds to Hamilton here. Well, I had to play that smart to get that move done, so Leclerc's not in my DRS. Perez continues to have his problems. But we could try and extend the stint as well if Hamilton pits and hope for a safety car to get that P1 back. I think Vettel's up at the top 5 almost.
5 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in sick. The time last lap was
Old tyres already. What?
gap to teammate behind is 0.0 seconds.
The gap's still at 11 seconds to Hamilton. Nearly 2 seconds ahead of Leclerc now. As we've approached half distance in this Canadian Grand Prix, Hamilton leads from myself, Leclerc, Perez, and I believe that's Magnussen, and then Vettel as your top 6. Got a lot of work to do if we're going to just eat the gap down to Hamilton.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on mediums.
Copy. I'm going to try and push these medium tyres a little longer. Maybe we will pit on lap 23. Maybe 22, see how we feel with the tyres at that point in the Grand Prix.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode.
Gap 10.8 seconds, we are trying our absolute hardest here. I know the McLaren's a quicker car, but we're going to give it everything with this Ferrari. Extract the absolute maximum for the team at Maranello.
Speeding up again, so I expect they fix whatever the problem was.
So Perez seems to have sorted his problems out. It's good for the Mexican driver. I think he's already retaken 4th place there. Where's Lucas?
Lucas is currently in P9. Difference
Oh, Lucas
is
only 9th at the moment. That is definitely a warning.
we think they've got one more stop.
Pushing a little too hard there.
Was a 1 minute 11.7.
As the gap's 10.5 seconds. Do we have a fresh set of softs? No, we don't. Okay. If we had a fresh set of softs, we probably would have gone and gambled for the final stint. I think, yeah, just a fresh set of mediums is the better option and a safer option as well. And of course, for our best finish of the season. All 20 runners still going in this Grand Prix on lap 20. Yeah, Perez is pulling a war. Oh no, he actually isn't. He's still under pressure from the Alfa Romeo for 4th place.
We're boxing this lap.
No,
Give us the best
negative.
time you can.
No box this lap. I mean, has continued to be on course for another podium, but at the moment they're not looking to make it 3 out of 3 wins. Yeah, not looking to make 3 wins in a row. But has really got good pace as well today. negative box. I'm going to stay out. Hamilton also catching some back markers as well. Well, not for another few laps at least. Gap 10 seconds. Oh, the gap under 10 seconds. 9.8 seconds to Hamilton. Giving it everything on these tyres. The tyres actually feel fine. We can stay out a lot longer actually. For the time being, the tyres feel good.
Hamilton ahead, they're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:11.1. You're closing by 4 tenths per lap.
Yeah, 4 tenths per lap, that's quite good. If we can keep that up, and then keep it up for the next stint, that will be very promising for us. .6 is the gap as Hamilton. He's not too far. Well, actually no, because he's got a pit, isn't he? So probably not. Vettel comes in for a second pit stop from P6, I believe that is. Damage limitation for my teammate today. That's first time out qualified Vettel this season as well. His qualifying streak throughout qualifying comes to an end here in Canada. I think for the first time this season we feel the more comfortable with the Ferrari cars. Yeah, keep pushing, keep pushing. Okay, the race leader, Lewis Hamilton, in the McLaren, comes in for his last pit stop. Now it's time to push on the out laps here before we come in, well, for the in lap. So we'll retake the lead at this race. Not by much.
We've lost one of the gears. The
Oh, you're
transmission is
joking.
significantly damaged. We're down a gear.
Lost fourth gear, that is. Okay, Leclerc's also in front of Hamilton, so hopefully Leclerc can kind of hold up Hamilton here.
Okay, we're starting to see a bit of tyre wear. You shouldn't have too much trouble for the time being,
Yeah,
but the
copy.
grip is going to start falling away.
Do you know what? Box this lap, because I think we'll just only lose more time. Box, box, box. Fresh set of mediums, box, box this lap. Leclerc also, well no he isn't pitting, but Hamilton retakes the lead. There's a 2.1 second pit stop, very good pit stops from the Ferrari team. From the Ferrari pit crew, very good job. Gearbox, 73%, oh my gosh. So we should come out in clear air in P4 here, but Raikkonen is still due a pit stop. And there's Lucas Weber making his way around turn 1 now. We'll comfortably get out in front of our German friend from F2 and our teammate at the time, and former teammates at Red Bull. Oh, we've got the gear back. Yeah, okay, that was very brief that we lost fourth gear. So Leclerc extending the stint. He could go on the soft compound tyre here to try and put pressure on myself for P2. Because we're in a net P2 at the moment. Unless Leclerc really wants to try and stick it out on these tyres to the end of the race, they will drop off massively at the end. As Raikkonen is in the pits. Perez in 4th place, 6.3 behind. Purple first sector, wow. Well, there's yellow flags. Oh, that's the Williams with Kubica going slowly by the looks of things. What's going to happen here? Will there be any safety car or anything? So Kubica out of the race. Hamilton, Leclerc go through. Yeah, couple caution. There's Kubica stranded Williams there. No safety car by the looks of things. Yeah, okay, no safety car. Leclerc peels into the pit lane. Hamilton takes the fastest lap, but we might take it right back off him here. So we're going to have a second warning there. We've got to be careful with the track limits here. Not quite fastest lap, 10.3 seconds to Hamilton. And Perez will take 3rd, but I think Perez might be due another pit stop though. Might be wrong, not sure. Trying to save a little bit of fuel as well. And get 10.8 seconds. Hamilton pulling away a little bit now.
Perez behind, the gap behind us is 5.9 seconds. They're on fresh mediums.
Well, Perez on first. Okay, so Perez doesn't need to pit again. Purple final sector, 5,000th of a second off our PB at the moment. Perez just about 6 seconds behind me, so still got a bit of breathing room between myself and Perez at the moment at this phase of the Grand Prix.
We're leading our teammate by 12.6 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in sick. The time last lap was a 1:11.4.
Kind of just matching the McLaren's pace at the moment, not really making too much of an impression as Perez takes the fastest lap.
6 seconds.
And Hamilton is on course to take the championship lead here. Since the season opener, I believe. Hamilton's eking that gap out. 11 seconds. Hamilton may catch the back markers though up ahead.
We've pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Copy. Leclerc now sets the fastest lap. I don't know if he's on the soft compound or not. He might be. Again, personal best in the first sector. Still about 6 seconds ahead of Perez and the other McLaren. About 5 laps to go of this race, and Hamilton has pretty much dominated this Grand Prix. We've tried to stay ahead of both McLarens at the start. We've been able to stay ahead of one of them, and I'm not complaining about that. That is completely fine by me. I knew McLaren would be strong in the race, but Hamilton has made a statement this Grand Prix. We seem to be quicker in the final sector, but we just lose that few tenths throughout the rest of the lap. Purple first sector, can we try and get the fastest lap point back? I think second with the fastest lap is probably the maximum we're going to get today. That's, yeah, that, no, that is a penalty, yeah. I completely misjudged that. Yeah, I know. Time penalty towards the end of the Grand Prix. Got to stay 3 seconds ahead of Perez, which we're more than comfortable at the moment, but we can't keep affording to do that. The track limits. Dash to the line, we should take the fastest lap, I hope, and we do, 109.6. I don't know if anyone's going to really beat that. I'll turn the engine down. Gap 6.2 to Perez. Leclerc trying to put pressure on the McLaren on these last laps of the Grand Prix. I don't think Hamilton will quite get the back markers in time here.
We're leading our teammate by 15.9 seconds.
I think Vettel's at a comfortable 6. Well, no, Vettel's sticking it out with these tyres. Potential P6. I think it's P7. Yeah. Whole gaggle of cars up the road, but I think it will be too late because Hamilton would have to navigate his way through. He might catch him because he is catching him at a rate or not. Gap 10.5 seconds.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Yeah, gap almost 11 seconds again to our fellow Brit, Lewis Hamilton. I think actually Hamilton could potentially catch those back markers on the last lap. that's a warning. What? Okay. But we just need to stay 3 seconds ahead of Perez, which we are at the moment, comfortably. Perez and Leclerc will know about our penalty. But Leclerc's not really putting pressure on the McLaren. Hamilton keeps pulling away. So we'll approach the final lap of the race. Yeah, 5.2 to Perez. That is 2.2 seconds in the back, really. We just got to keep it clean. And we head to the final lap of the race.
This is your final lap.
And Hamilton leads by 11 seconds from ourselves.
The teammate behind is 16.6 seconds.
Vettel, only big recovery, I would say, to P6. Been doing a one-stop strategy. Yeah, Hamilton's approaching those back markers now, but I don't think he'll get caught up, really. So Hamilton won in Australia. He won in Azerbaijan. And Hamilton is on his way to take McLaren back to the top step of the podium here in Canada. So it's been a commanding drive from Lewis Hamilton. Fair play to him. Paris is trying to close that gap to me. 4.6, but we should be okay for second as Lewis Hamilton crosses the line to win the Canadian Grand Prix. McLaren back on top of the step of the podium, and we're going to come through. We started on pole. It's not going to be the win, but we'll get our best finish of the year.
Nice work, you did well today. I think the boss will be
Yes, P2. Forza Ferrari.
Another race and another win for McLaren. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure, and no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight. So let's review the updated driver standings. After an incredible performance, Lewis Hamilton secures the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Sebastian Vettel would definitely be my first choice. He showed up a lot of the drivers out on the track today and didn't show any signs of slowing down.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren continue to increase their gap at the top. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
I mean, I'm happy with the drive. I think I got the absolute maximum, really. We still beat one of the McLarens. I know they had a problem, but they had it fixed, and we still managed to hold our nerve and keep P2 with the fastest lap. And we move up to 7th in the standings by a point to Weber. And catching Magnussen, Verstappen. Yeah. Good battle for 3rd, really, in the driver standings. Hamilton does retake the lead of the championship by 6 points to his teammate, and we've moved back up to 2nd in the constructors by 3 points to Haas. We did set the fastest lap of the race by 0.3 of a second, so strong race. I'm overall happy with the performance. Robert Kubica, the only driver failing to see the checkered flag come end of the race. But Forza Ferrari, the second podium of the season. I'm happy with that drive. Promising steps moving forward to the French Grand Prix for round 8 next time around. Take care, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.